The first thing I noticed at Dad's funeral was that my brother's wife wore Louboutins, red-soled stilettos clicking against marble as they arrived 15 minutes late to the service, because apparently even death should wait for an Instagram-worthy entrance. I'm Trisha, and I spent the last decade watching my father die in inches while my brother Gabriel traveled the world with his influencer wife, Peyton. Now, I was watching them perform grief like it was sponsored content. "He looks so peaceful," Peyton whispered loudly enough for the first 3 rows to hear, dabbing at dry eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. Her phone was already out, probably drafting the perfect caption about loss and legacy. Gabriel stood behind her, one hand on her shoulder, the other checking his Apple Watch. He hadn't bothered to visit when Dad could still recognize faces. "Should we gather for a family photo?" Peyton suggested as the last mourners filed out. "For memories?" "No." My voice was hoarse from unshed tears, real ones. That evening, they cornered me in Dad's study, my study where I'd spent countless nights helping him with medications and breathing treatments while they sent postcards from Bali. "We need to discuss next steps," Gabriel said, sliding an envelope across Dad's desk. "This is just a formality." I opened it. Eviction notice. 30 days. "The property needs significant updating," Peyton chimed in, phone already recording. "But it has amazing potential as a content creation space. Those original hardwoods, that vintage wallpaper, my followers will die." "Die," I repeated softly. Interesting choice of words. "Look, Trisha," Gabriel leaned forward. "We know you've been helping out here, and we appreciate that. But Dad left the house to both of us, and Peyton and I have plans." "Plans," I echoed, watching Peyton pan her phone around the room. "Oh my God, babe, look at this vintage light fixture. Though we'll obviously need to gut most of it. No offense, Trisha, but it's giving major hoarder vibes in here." I stayed silent, remembering Dad's hands trembling as he signed papers with Eva last year, remembering his whispered, "Make it right, baby girl." "Don't make this harder than it has to be," Gabriel warned, his smile sharp. "We could fight this in court, but why waste the money?" For the first time that day, I smiled back. "You're right, Gabriel. Why waste money on lawyers?" "Exactly!" Peyton beamed, already typing on her phone. "I'm thinking we could do a whole renovation series, from family home to forever home or something. Very on brand." I watched them plan their takeover of my father's legacy, of my home, of the last decade of my life. They had no idea what was coming. "Take all the photos you want," I said quietly. "Document everything." They didn't notice my smile never reached my eyes. I watched through the upstairs window as Peyton directed 2 moving guys to haul Dad's antique desk toward their waiting truck. My phone recorded every moment, every casual disregard for family history. "This is like, literally, garbage," she declared, kicking aside a box of Dad's medical records. "Gabriel, honey, should we just get a dumpster?" The memory hit me like a punch. Dad sitting at that desk last Christmas, struggling to hold a pen. "Your brother called," he'd said. "Needs another loan for his startup. Says it's emergency capital." "That's the 3rd emergency this year," I'd replied, adjusting his oxygen tube. "Trisha?" A gentle voice pulled me back. Eva stood in the doorway, pretending to be just another mourner. My oldest friend, now a real estate attorney, watched the scene unfold below with calculated interest. "They're taking everything," I whispered. "Let them dig their hole deeper," Eva murmured, squeezing my arm. "Document it all." Downstairs, Gabriel rifled through Dad's filing cabinet, tossing folders left and right. "There has to be a will somewhere. Dad wouldn't just—" "Babe, look what I found!" Peyton held up Mom's old jewelry box. "Vintage pieces are so in right now. My followers would die for a giveaway." I bit my tongue until I tasted blood. "Oh, hi!" Peyton spotted Ava. "Are you here about the house? We're planning a complete renovation." "I'm thinking modern farmhouse meets industrial chic." "Just paying respects." Eva smiled professionally. "Beautiful home." "It will be," Gabriel muttered, still destroying Dad's careful filing system. "Once we clear out all this accumulated stuff." That night, after they left with their first truckload of memories, I finally opened the locked bottom drawer of Dad's cabinet, the one Gabriel hadn't found. Inside lay a thick manila envelope with my name on it. "Dear Tricia, by now they've shown their true colors. I'm sorry for not seeing it sooner. But you did, didn't you? All those years watching Gabriel take and take, while you gave everything up to care for me. I know what this cost you. Your career, your relationships, your dreams of traveling. You think I didn't notice? A father notices. Eva helped me make it right. The deed, the power of attorney, the loan records. It's all here. Use it wisely, baby girl. Make them understand that karma isn't just a hashtag. Love, Dad." My hand shook as I pulled out the documents. Property deed, power of attorney, bank statements showing years of Gabriel's emergency withdrawals. I grabbed my phone and dialed Ava. "They took his desk today," I said when she answered. "Mom's jewelry, too." "Are you ready?" she asked quietly. I looked at the papers spread before me. Dad's last gift, his final act of justice. "It's time," I replied. "I found a potential buyer," I told Gabriel over the phone. "She'd like to see the house before you start major renovations." "Perfect." Peyton grabbed the phone. "I can give her my vision board presentation. The Pinterest analytics are insane." They arrived dressed like HGTV hosts, Peyton live streaming their walk up the driveway. "Last time in the old family home. So emotional right now." Ava was already waiting in the living room, briefcase in hand, Owen beside her. I'd never seen Gabriel's smile fade so fast. "Why is there a lawyer here?" he demanded. "Two lawyers, actually," Eva corrected, opening her briefcase. "Please sit down. We have some documents to discuss." "I don't understand." Peyton's phone wavered. "Tricia said there was a buyer." "There's nothing to buy," Eva smiled. "The property already has a legal owner." She slid the deed across the coffee table. "Your father transferred full ownership to Tricia 3 years ago, in recognition of her role as his primary caregiver." Gabriel snatched the paper. "This is fake. Dad would never—" "It's completely legitimate," Owen interrupted. "I witnessed the transfer myself. Your father was of sound mind and made his wishes very clear." Peyton's phone clattered to the floor. But the renovation series. My sponsors—" "There's more," Eva continued, producing another document. "The deed includes a clause requiring audit of all financial assistance provided by your father in the past 5 years. Loans, gifts, emergency transfers. Everything must be accounted for and potentially repaid to the estate." Gabriel's face went from red to white. You can't do this. Actually, I spoke for the first time, I can, and I am. You manipulative bitch! Peyton shrieked, scrambling for her phone. You planned this for years. You isolated Dad, poisoned him against us. Poisoned him. My voice could have frozen hell. I changed his oxygen tanks while you were posting sunset pics from Santorini. I held his hand through chemo while Gabriel begged for startup money. Where were you when he couldn't remember his own name? We had lives. Gabriel stood up, knocking over his chair. Careers. We couldn't just put everything on hold. No, I cut him off. You had choices. You chose wrong. This isn't over, he snarled. We'll fight this. Please do. Ava smiled. The IRS is very interested in some of those emergency transfers already. You set us up, Peyton whispered. All these years, playing the quiet little nurse. I thought of Dad's struggle to sign those papers, his determination to make things right. Oh, I did, I agreed, watching their perfect world crumble. And I'm not done yet. They stormed out, Peyton already crafting her victim narrative for social media. But her hands shook too much to type. Ava gathered the documents. Ready for phase 2? I nodded. The real revenge was just beginning. $200,000? Ava whistled, spreading bank statements across the kitchen table. Your brother's emergencies were quite expensive. Look at this one. I pointed to a transfer. Urgent investment opportunity. Same day Peyton posted about their Maldives villa rental. And here, Eva highlighted another document. $40,000 for critical business expenses, the same week he bought that Tesla. My phone buzzed with Instagram notifications. Peyton had gone nuclear, posting a tearful story about toxic family dynamics and elder abuse. Should we respond? Ava asked. No need. I pulled up my anonymous account and posted the video of Peyton tossing Mom's jewelry box into their truck. Let's see how her followers feel about that. The memory surfaced unbidden. Dad sitting in his wheelchair, watching Gabriel's vacation photos on Facebook. Maybe I was too hard on him. He'd mused. Maybe that's why he never visits. No, Dad, I'd replied, adjusting his blanket. Some people just take until there's nothing left. Miss Tricia? Owen's voice crackled through my phone speaker. The IRS received our documentation. They're opening a formal investigation into Gabriel's financial declarations. Peyton's next post appeared. Sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes it's the followers who support you through life's darkest moments. Blessed. Boundaries. Toxic family. The comments weren't what she expected. Public records show your SIL was your FIL's caregiver for 10 years while you were on permanent vacation. Did you seriously throw away family heirlooms? That video is heartbreaking. My mum was a caregiver too. People like you make me sick. Eva sorted another stack of papers. Gabriel's been transferring assets to offshore accounts. Started the day after the funeral. Forward everything to the IRS, I said. Dad kept every receipt, every transfer request, every desperate voicemail. My phone rang. Gabriel's number. Tricia, please. His voice cracked. They're freezing my accounts. Peyton's threatening to leave. We can work something out. Like you worked something out with Dad. All those emergency loans while I changed his diapers? I'm your brother. You stopped being my brother the day you handed me an eviction notice at his funeral. The doorbell rang. A courier delivered a thick envelope, IRS logos stamped across the front, addressed to Gabriel. "What's that?" Gabriel demanded, still on the line. "Karma," I replied, hanging up. Eva read the notice and smiled. "They're auditing every transaction for the past 7 years. Your father's meticulous records made quite an impression." I touched Dad's old filing cabinet, remembering his words. "Keep everything, baby girl. Someday they'll show their true colors." My phone buzzed again. Peyton's latest post was losing followers by the thousands. "Ready for the next step?" Eva asked, pulling out more paperwork. I nodded. The house felt lighter, somehow, like Dad's ghost was finally at peace. "Send everything," I said. "Let's finish this." "Just hear me out, sis," Gabriel's voice pleaded through the phone. Third call today. "We're family. Remember when we were kids? Remember last month when you tried to throw me out of my home?" "That was Peyton's idea. She thought—" I hung up, forwarding the recorded call to Eva. The doorbell rang. Speaking of Peyton, she stood on the porch in full influencer mode, phone held high, live streaming. "I'm here to confront my toxic sister-in-law about her manipulative behavior." "You're trespassing," I said calmly, knowing her followers were watching. "How dare you destroy my reputation?" She shoved her way inside. "I've lost 3 sponsorship deals because of you." "Only 3? Give it time." Her mascara was already running. Perfect for the camera. "You isolated your father, poisoned him against us." "Want to see something, Peyton?" I pulled out my tablet, playing a video from Dad's last Christmas. "This is what isolation looks like." The footage showed Dad in his hospital bed, struggling to breathe while I adjusted his oxygen. "Did Gabriel get the money?" He wheezed. He said he'd visit if—" Peyton's live stream captured every second. "Turn it off!" she screamed. "Your followers should see this part too," I continued playing. "Where were you both when he asked for you?" "Oh, right, posting yacht photos from Dubai." Comments flooded her stream. "OMG, she was caring for her dying father while they traveled? This influencer is disgusting. Unfollowing. You're ruining everything." Peyton's phone shook. "Gabriel's about to lose everything because of you." "No, he's losing everything because he stole from our dying father." Her phone pinged. Another sponsorship cancellation email. "This isn't over," she hissed, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "I'm filing a lawsuit for defamation." "With what money?" I asked quietly. "Gabriel's accounts are frozen, remember?" She stormed out, still streaming, her carefully curated life unraveling in real time. That night, I found Dad's last letter again. "You've done more than I ever deserved. I just hope I gave you enough to start over." A crash downstairs jolted me awake. Someone was in the house. I crept down with my phone ready to dial 911. The study door was open, Dad's filing cabinet drawers ransacked, papers scattered everywhere. Nothing was taken, but the message was clear. Someone was desperate to find something. Eva arrived within minutes. "The audit must have spooked them. They're looking for anything to discredit the deed." "They won't find it," I said, remembering Dad's foresight. "The original documents are in your safe." My phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. "You think you're so clever, but you don't know everything. Ask your Aunt Sierra about the real will." I showed Eva the message. Her eyes narrowed. "Looks like we've got another player in the game," she said. I nodded, already planning my next move. Let them come. Aunt Sierra's house smelled like cigarettes and regret. She opened the door with a scowl that matched her brother's, Dad's features twisted by bitterness. So, she took a long drag. The prodigal niece returns. Cut the act. I stepped inside uninvited. Gabriel contacted you, didn't he? He might have mentioned you've gone power crazy. She gestured to a manila envelope on her coffee table. Interesting documents turned up in my attic. Let me guess. A different will? Proof of my manipulation? She smiled thinly. Your brother's offering good money for them. With what money? The IRS froze his accounts yesterday. Her smile faltered. My phone buzzed, a notification from Peyton's Instagram. Sometimes healing means walking away, starting my spiritual journey in Bali. Blessed, strong self-love. Interesting timing. I showed Sierra the post. Looks like Gabriel's wife just abandoned ship, using his hidden Cayman account, I'm guessing. You don't know? I know everything. I cut her off. Every transfer, every hidden account. Dad documented it all. Want to see the paper trail before you commit perjury for him. She lit another cigarette, hands shaking. Your father shut me out for years. Never let me help, never let me visit. Because you tried to convince him to sell the house when Mom died. You wanted your share while he was still grieving. I deserved something. For what? What did you deserve, Aunt Sierra? Did you hold his hand through chemo? Clean him when he couldn't make it to the bathroom? Watch him forget your name? She looked away. Gabriel promises a lot of things. Ask his wife. Oh, wait, she just fled the country with his money. My phone buzzed again. Ava's text. Peyton just emptied their joint account. $180,000 gone. I showed Sierra the message. Still want to commit fraud for him? She slumped in her chair. He said he'd help me keep my house. The bank's foreclosing. And now you're trying to steal mine. I stood up. I'm giving you one chance. Walk away or I'll add you to the lawsuit. You wouldn't. I pulled out my phone, showing her the recording of our conversation. Try me. Fine. She spat. Take your perfect house and your perfect revenge. You're just like your father, always thinking you're better than everyone. No. I gathered the fake documents from her coffee table. I just learned from watching people like you try to take everything from him. Outside, another notification. Gabriel's desperate voice message. Peyton's gone. She took everything. Please, Tricia, I need help. I blocked his number and called Eva. Sierra's out, I said, and Peyton just threw Gabriel under the bus. Perfect timing, Eva replied. The DA wants to meet tomorrow about criminal charges. I looked back at Sierra's house, remembering Dad's words about family and forgiveness. No mercy, I said quietly. Not anymore. None, Eva agreed. See you in court. $283,412, Eva read from the final audit report. Plus, penalties for false documentation. Gabriel sat across from us, shoulders slumped, wearing the same suit from Dad's funeral. No Tesla in the driveway this time. I can't pay it, he whispered. Peyton took everything. Last seen in Bali, Eva noted. Spending your hidden savings. Interesting choice of life partner. Please, Tricia. He looked up, eyes red. I'm your brother. You have 2 options. I slid a document across the table. Sign this, surrendering all claims to any family trusts and making a public statement clearing my name. Or Ava hands everything to the DA. Tax fraud carries jail time. His hand shook as he reached for the pen. Dad would hate what you've become. Dad helped me plan this, I replied. Every detail. While you were too busy to visit, we were documenting your theft. He signed. I watched our last connection dissolve in black ink. There's a press release prepared. Ava handed him a paper. Read it exactly as written. I, Gabriel, acknowledge my sister Tricia as the rightful owner of our family home and regret my attempts to... His voice cracked. Do I have to? Read. By evening, his statement was viral. Peyton's followers turned it into a true crime thread, analyzing years of their luxury posts against the timeline of Dad's illness. I stood in Dad's study, my study, looking at the empty spaces where his medical equipment used to be. The house felt different now. Lighter, but also hollow. The paperwork's ready, Eva said behind me. Are you sure about this? I nodded, touching the wall where Dad's hospital bed once stood. It's time. 2 weeks later, I cut the ribbon at the Stanley Family Caregiver Respite Center. Local news cameras rolled as I gave the speech I'd practiced for days. This house watched my father fade, I said to the crowd, but it also taught me about strength, about dedication, about turning pain into purpose. Today, it becomes a sanctuary for other caregivers who need rest, support, and understanding. A commotion at the back. Peyton, fresh from Bali, phone raised high. This is my comeback story, she announced to her remaining followers, facing my toxic past, bringing healing to... Security escorted her out. Her live stream caught every second of her meltdown. Inside, I showed the first visitors around. A young woman stopped in Dad's old room, now a peaceful reading space. I don't know how to do this anymore, she whispered, clutching a photo of her mother. The doctors say she has 6 months. I took her hand, remembering all the nights I'd whispered the same words in this room. That's why you're here, I said softly. You're not alone anymore. She hugged me, crying. This, I realized, was better than revenge. This was purpose. The autumn wind scattered leaves across Dad's headstone as I placed fresh flowers. Ava sat on a nearby bench, giving me space while reviewing documents. Gabriel filed for bankruptcy this morning, she said quietly. His startup investors are suing. And Peyton? Rebranded as a healing and accountability coach on TikTok. Smaller audience, same narcissism. I traced Dad's name on the stone. Did I go too far? They went too far first. Ava stood up. Speaking of which, your Aunt Sierra called. She's asking about that caregiver support program you mentioned. I smiled. Tell her to come Tuesday. We have an excellent financial planning workshop. My phone buzzed, a text from the respite center's night manager. Full house tonight. 3 new caregivers checked in. Ready to go? Ava asked. 1 minute. I pulled Dad's last letter from my bag, worn soft from repeated reading. The paper held echoes of his hospital room, antiseptic and determination. A car door slammed nearby. Gabriel stood at the cemetery gate, thinner, wearing off-the-rack clothes. I'm not here to fight, he called out. I never said goodbye properly. I watched him approach the grave, this stranger who shared my blood. I'm sorry, Dad, he whispered, kneeling. I'm sorry I wasn't there. He knew you weren't coming, I said quietly. That's why he made sure I'd be okay. Gabriel nodded, standing. The respite center. He would have loved that idea. He gave me the idea. His last good day, he said, make this house heal people. You did good, sis. He turned to leave, stopped. I did this to myself, didn't I? Yes. He walked away, shoulders bent under the weight of consequences. Back at the center, a group therapy session was ending. Caregivers shared stories of exhaustion, of sacrifice, of learning to cope. Sometimes I dream about revenge, one woman admitted. About making my siblings understand what they've abandoned. Revenge doesn't fill the empty spaces, I told her, but purpose does. Look around. You're not invisible here. Your sacrifice matters here. Later, in Dad's study, still his study, even with the medical equipment replaced by comfortable chairs and support group schedules, I found a photo fallen behind the desk. Dad and me, his last Christmas, both laughing despite the oxygen tubes and pain. Both knowing what was coming, both at peace with our plan. Eva appeared in the doorway. New family just checked in. Their story. It's a lot like yours. I tucked the photo away. Tell them I'll be right there. Walking through the house that held both my prison and my liberation, I felt Dad's presence in every transformed room. Every caregiver who found refuge here was part of his legacy. Our legacy. Revenge gave me justice. But turning it into purpose gave me peace.